So we have kind of three main goals for newborn screening. The first one is to make all the states follow the federal recommended uniform screening panel. That's the number one goal right now because it's the strategy, right? We want the states to follow the federal government. The number two strategy that we want is for there to be more diseases added to the recommended uniform screening panel. But it's important that the states follow first, because if you start adding a lot of diseases, the states will get hesitant to pass our legislation, right? So strategy first, states align. And there's a lot, the states are probably only like 3 to 4 diseases behind the recommended uniform screening panel. And they only add a disease like once every other year. So it's not like a crazy, like completely impossible situation right now. But what happens is that the advocate themselves goes and tries to get a disease on the RUSP, right? And then they get their disease on the RUSP, and then they have to go state by state and pass the legislation for their disease. So Elisa Seeger is the perfect example of that, you know, working to get ALD on the RUSP after her child passed away, and has been working state by state. We believe at the foundation that that is unfair to put on our patients, right? It shouldn't be the patient's responsibility to do this. So we have our state by state legislation to follow the federal recommended screening panel. And then we have and we passed California and Florida first. Those were kind of our two models at this point. Every state is different. There's no like model legislation. The California legislation actually was unconstitutional in Florida. So like you couldn't pass the legislation, you had to do something specific for Florida. The third goal is obviously to ensure the program works at the federal level, right? And that is reauthoring the Newborn Screening Saves Lives, which has been expired for many years now, and making sure that we can continue to strengthen and improve that legislation going forward, to ensure the program, because it's not, you know, you'll hear this phrase a lot, newborn screening isn't a test, it's a system or a program. Because it's not just, you know, COVID, you get a diagnosis, you're on your way, right? Like with newborn screening, it's really about the support and care you can give that child and their family after they've been diagnosed.